Gallery Studios in downtown Little Rock. This is Capitol View.
Welcome to Capitol View. I'm your host, Roby Brock. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, this past week, there was a new entrant in the race for Arkansas governor in 2026. State Senator Fred Love, Democrat of Little Rock, threw his hat in the ring, and he joins us for a conversation. Senator Love, thank you for being here.
Roby, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the statewide big brawl there. It's going to be a big one, high-profile race next year.
Yes.
For people who do not know you outside of your legislative district, tell everybody a little bit of your background, kind of where you grew up, where you got your education, your family, your work, all that kind of thing.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me. Frederick Love, as you know, state senator, been in the House I served in the House for 11 years, served in the Senate for 3, so I'm in my 15th year. So I've been around. From Little Rock, born and raised, went to Joe T. Robinson, graduated from ULR with a degree in political science, master's in public administration, have been in public service for, I guess, the last 20 years now.
Yeah, all right. Well, tell me why you're running. How long you been giving this some thought, and what made you get into the race this year?
Well, Roby, I've been giving this a lot of thought, but a lot of prayer also. And I'm hearing people, they're being shut out. They're not being heard. They're not being listened to. And so I want to give the people a voice. And so I've been doing that for the last 15 years, and so that's what I want to do now. I want to give voice to Arkansans because Arkansas deserves better.
I want to talk about what you want to do as governor, but first I want you to tell me what you think Governor Sarah Sanders is not doing, why you would be a better alternative to what she's been offering the state of Arkansas.
Well, I really don't want to focus on Governor Huckabee Sanders. But a couple of things I would say is that I don't think we've moved the needle on education like we should have. I know that there was a few good plans in Arkansas Learns, but it has turned out to be something that hasn't moved the needle. I mean, the only thing that is going up in education is the amount of money that we're spending in vouchers. And so I don't think that we've moved the needle, and I think we can do better with public education.
Don't you think it will take some time for things like reading and math, those scores to improve based on some of the investments that are being made? I mean, that's not an overnight solution.
Well, I think the investments need to be made in different places. For instance, if you want reading scores to go up, there are school districts that are calling and telling me that they don't have reading specialists or they don't have enough reading specialists. So you have to first input the infrastructure if you want to see the results. And I don't think that we've invested in the infrastructure well enough to make the gains that we need.
In the last legislative session, you were a staunch opponent of the Franklin County prison plan. Tell me what's the reason for your opposition to, is it that particular site? Is it just building a new prison in general? What's your position on it?
Well, I think it's some involved. Number one, I mean, spending $1 billion. Now, this is $1 billion in a time where people are facing economic crunches. I think that's not a wise investment. Now, I do think that we're going to need more prison beds, and here's why I say that. Is because as of right now, we have anywhere between 1,800 and 2,000 state prisoners in our county jails. So that affects locally we police. And so I think we're going to have to make some changes there. We do need additional bed space because we have to get those state prisoners out of our county jails. Yeah. And I think our sheriffs will agree with me on that. However, I don't think building a 3,000 bedroom facility out in the middle of Franklin County where there's no infrastructure there, there's no workforce there, I don't think that's the answer.
Senator Brian King advocated kind of a plan to add on to some existing jail space, maybe even find ways to entice counties to expand their prison space for state prison beds. Was that a plan you supported, or do you think that's the right direction?
No, I'm not going to say that's a plan that I supported. What I am going to say is that we need to explore other options than the Franklin County prison. But I know that we do need to expand some of the facilities that we probably currently have and save some of that money for other investments that we need to do in the state.
You talked about an economic plan in your announcement for governor. You called it a real economic opportunity in every corner of the state. It
Yes.
touts regional economic development hubs, access to more startup capital and infrastructure, partnering with some of the colleges and universities around the state, investing in broadband and some other things. We're doing a lot of that right now, aren't we?
Well, I don't know if we're doing a lot of that, and now I'll give you one example. So if you go to, and this is a conversation that I was having at the Economic Development Summit that they had maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I asked them about actually building new economic development sites. Well, they're not doing that right now. Now, we are investing in the economic development sites that we have. So I'll give you an example, like the Little Rock Port Authority. We are doing investments in the Little Rock Port Authority, and I can appreciate that because I live in this area. But there's other economic opportunities that we can do. We can begin to build new sites because it's going to take time for that to come online. But these type of investments are going to take time, but they're also going to take the money. And we need to repurpose some of the money that we're spending now so that we can invest in those sites. And therefore we can bring economic development around the state of Arkansas and not just in a few areas.
You have voted against some of the tax cuts in recent years where we've been bringing down the income tax rate in the state of Arkansas. Why have you voted in that? Why have you taken that position in your votes?
Because I will tell you this, most of the tax benefit is going to the top 2%. I think if we were going to do tax cuts, and I believe in tax cuts focus at the working class Arkansans, that would be a better solution than focusing at the people that are the top 1 or 2.
Lastly, you're going to get blasted with the National Democratic label. You're running as a Democrat. You know that this is coming. I mean, our state and local politics are nationalized now. I mean, there's just kind of no denying that. As hard as we try to localize them and stay as focused as we can, and I think people do a good job of talking about state and local issues, but whatever happens on Fox News, whatever happens on MSNBC, whatever happens on CNN, it comes down here. You're going to get labeled as a radical liberal. You've already been kind of tied by the Republican Party to that label. How do you combat that message?
Well, I have a message for the people of Arkansas. I'm not going to respond to those things. I'm not going to respond to those labels. I think my work will speak for itself. I think the people that have worked with me, if they know the work that I've done in Arkansas, which is building health clinics, building infrastructure, economic development, when they begin to hear my message and see what I have for them, those labels will not matter.
All right, about to barnstorm the state. What's your next plan in the next, say, 30, 60, 90 days?
Well, I will be going to visit every community in Arkansas. I will be, and that's my thing. I want to take my message to the people of Arkansas because Arkansas deserves better.
All right. Hey, Senator Fred Love, he's running for Arkansas governor in 2026, the Democratic nomination. Good luck to you. Let's hope to have you in here a few more times between now and Election Day. So, all right.
All right.